Hello, my dears. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with a moment for chronic wellness. So last night I was getting into the shower and I had had a really bad day as far as pain. And as I was taking off my clothes, my wife was like, whoa, Annette, what is happening on your chest and shoulder? And I was like, what? I'm hella pale. And she was like, yeah, you're always hella pale, but I can see like a crazy amount of veins and they are bulging out of your chest, and this does not look right or normal. And she was right. We got in touch with my doctor and eventually the surgeon who put in my port. And this morning I'm going to go get ultrasounds done. And what seems likely is that I have a clot that has formed since I had my power port surgery almost 3 weeks ago now. And I'm telling you all of this not because this is like my personal blog and you need to just know every detail of my life, but because of a couple of things. Number one, tomorrow is 3 weeks since I had this port placed, and I thought I was out of the woods. I thought this sucker was healed and we weren't talking about the process of what was happening with my port anymore. I wasn't looking for things to be awry, and so that was off my radar. That was foolish. Number two, my arm and neck and shoulder and armpit had been hurting increasingly throughout the day. And I hadn't been talking about that because I was taught if you don't have something nice to say, you don't say it. And while I have come a long way in overriding that hardwiring, I have not come far enough because I was completely dismissing my own lived experience and just kind of turning on myself and saying things like, oh, you need to just suck it up, Annette, and stop complaining. You just slept on it wrong and now you have a crick in your neck and your arm hurts. And you've mentioned this once already today. You don't need to keep talking about it. These are the kind of messages that my inner critic feels free to just spew all over me. How about you? Are those familiar kinds of things that you say to yourself? Do you undermine your own knowing by talking that kind of trash to yourself? Because last night was a really scary night. I went to bed after talking with my surgeon and knowing that the probability is high that I have a blood clot. And I went to sleep with the hope that that blood clot wasn't going to dislodge and kill me, but without real confidence about that, and crying myself to sleep with my wife, telling her where my passwords are and being disappointed in myself that it's been a few years since we've updated our will and there are things that really should be more up to date than they are. And that's a sobering way to go to bed. So I couldn't miss this opportunity to cross this ground with you all and be honest about where I still have lots of work to do on owning my own experience, not writing it off, incorporating it into how I make decisions about contacting my doctors and other medical providers, and believing myself the way that I would believe someone else, and making the best decisions from there. So there it is. I hope that there are things that you can relate to and learn from. And as ever, I'd be glad to hear from you. And I'm heading in to go get an ultrasound on my port. I'll keep you posted when I'm back in action. Thanks for tuning in, and be good to yourself.